It's officially College Football 26 reveal day. We got the trailer and we got a blog on the EA Sports website. This video is sponsored by EA. They did help me get some of this info a little early so that I can get this info ready for you guys. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn the bell icon on because we're going to be getting tons of info, every few days now because we're getting close to the game. We're going to get deep dives for gameplay, Dynasty, Road to Glory, presentation, all of those things, and you don't want to miss them. Trying to get to 650K subs before the release of this game, so if everybody watching just subscribed, we could hit that number today. Now, I can't play the trailer all the way through with sound, so we're just going to kind of talk about it because I was running into some copyright issues for some reason. Sometimes it just happens on YouTube. But pretty hype trailer in my opinion. We heard Enter Sandman, so we know that that's going to be in the game, which is great because they didn't get it in last year for whatever reason, and now it's kind of the centerpiece of the trailer this year. So for Virginia Tech fans, you're going to have that. Of course, we're seeing some different mascots, some different stuff in the intros. So in the reveal trailer, I mean, there's only so much we're going to see because it's not really a gameplay trailer. We can't really tell how the game's going to play, what they've tweaked yet. We're going to learn more about that in the weeks to come when they do a gameplay deep dive. We're only just seeing some cinematic shots, so gameplay wise you're not going to get much out of that trailer, but you're going to see some of the presentation. So we can see that it looks like they've added on to the pregame intros for teams, which is great. Keep building that out, make them more and more lifelike. It looks like they've added some different things for teams that wasn't in the game last year for their pregame. Definitely saw some new mascots in that trailer as well that weren't in the game last year, because if you remember, I believe there's only like 50 or so mascots last year, so we're definitely going to see a lot of new ones in the game this year, which is cool. Obviously, we saw a little glimpse of high school, which we knew was going to be in the game already. But I'm just excited to dive into this blog. So keep in mind, the reveal day blog is just going to kind of be a brief overview of what's coming to the game. We're going to find out the bullet points, which we're going to go over right now. But in the weeks to come, when they do the gameplay, Dynasty, and Road to Glory deep dive separately, we're going to find out a lot more on those days. We're going to find out all of the little stuff that, in my opinion, adds up to make a big deal. Today is more just kind of some of the bigger bullet points that they want to advertise. So we're going to start off here with the true college football gameplay. We're going to see what they're going to let us in on with the gameplay here. It says, our vision of what it means to experience college football continues to be our wide open, fast-paced gameplay that's anchored by a swath of foundational football features like stunts and twists, custom zones, and improved blocking and coverage logic. Utilize dynamic substitutions for easier fatigue management on the field, with additional upgrades coming to the wear and tear system. We've overhauled archetypes to encompass the unique skill sets that you see on Saturday. With over 2,700 new plays and unique schemes like Rice's modern option and Penn State's gadget heavy, 10,000 players and 300 real-world coaches with true-to-life schemes, this is our most authentic college football experience yet. Stay tuned for our gameplay deep dive to learn more. So right there, I mean, that's little tidbits, but that sounds good. Over 2,700 new plays, that's quite a lot, especially when you think of how much was in the game last year. Obviously, we're going to have a lot of new players because different rosters this year, but over 300 real-world coaches, which to me sounds like there's even assistant coaches and stuff, or maybe in Dynasty and stuff like that, you can maybe hire old coaches. Like, let's say Nick Saban could be in the game and you can bring him out of retirement. I don't know if that's the case, but that sounds pretty cool. But they also mentioned stunts and twists, which have not been in Madden for a very long time, and it's something people have asked for. So if they're putting stunts and twists in this game, that means likely it's going to be in Madden as well. But they're actually bringing real pass rush schemes back, which is awesome. Custom zones, I can't wait to see what that is. That sounds crazy. Obviously, improved blocking and coverage. That was two of the bigger, talking points all year, that coverage and blocking wasn't that great. So it looks like they've done upgrades there. We'll have to see when they put the deep dive out. And also more upgrades to wear and tear. So that sounds pretty cool. Now, they also do go on to mention a little more about the coaches, saying you can suit up for Dan Lanning, you can compete against Kirby Smart, recruit as or against James Franklin, go toe-to-toe with current coaches who bring distinctive play styles to the field, strategize like they would with their unique playbooks for a more authentic coaching experience. So it's good to see that. Obviously, we saw coaches in the trailer. I don't know if they're using exact face scans. I wouldn't say they look one-to-one like the real coaches, but I think they look pretty close. So, I mean, that works for me personally, but I wouldn't say they're exactly face scans, but I could be wrong. Now, they mention with wear and tear here on the website, they say the advanced wear and tear system delivers more realism and is now fully customizable to fit your playstyle. You can manage fatigue strategically and save your favorite playmakers for key moments with dynamic substitutions that allow you to rotate players in and out on the fly. No pause screen needed. So that sounds really good right there. They also mentioned foundational football advancements. It says College Football 26 foundational football gameplay starts with improved coverage to give you confidence in shutting down your opponent and improved blocking to reward players' left stick skills between the tackles. Feel the changes to our upgraded physics-based tackling system with new tackle types and enhancements to the hit stick. Experience greater control on both sides of the ball with the ability to call different stunts and twists to optimize your pass rush, a new custom zones feature to really dial in your coverage at the line of scrimmage, and several new abilities that we can't wait to talk about in our gameplay deep dive. So what this sounds like right here is it sounds like they have added the boom tech from Madden, because that was not in college last year. So when they're talking about physics-based tackling and new enhancements to the hit stick, I'm like 90% sure that that's what this means. They're just now bringing the boom tech that was in Madden over to college, and it might work better in college because the movement is so much more fast and fluid. So we'll get to see what that's about. And again, they mentioned the stunts and the custom zones here as well, so that sounds really good. They also mentioned Home Field Advantage 2.0, experience enhanced stadium pulse effects, including a more intense camera shake, new heads-up display visuals, a clock distortion that simulates the high pressure of playing as a visitor in a hostile territory. Rivalry games, the college football playoff, the other high-stakes matchups are now even more affected by stadium pulse. When you're on the road, use your confidence and composure to help counteract the rattling environment. So, it just sounds like they're making home field advantage even crazier, which I'm not going to lie, at times home field advantage is annoying and I don't like it very much sometimes, especially in like online play. But it's part of college football. It's a part of what this game series was known for. So they're going to keep doing stuff with it. It just is what it is. Moving on here to presentation, it says more like Saturday. So the first thing they touch on here is next level game day. Feel the stadium shake as you discover more of your school's unique pageantry, traditions, and sounds with new PA tracks, including Metallica's Enter Sandman, 160 new school-specific chants, new mascots, and band music. And then it also says, we know how much you love the drum lines from the menu last year. We're going to change it up for College Football 26. We're bringing new marching band covers of popular songs to our menus for players to enjoy, as well as 15 fight songs from schools around the country. And there's going to be a presentation deep dive later this year as well, where they're going to go more in depth. But we know they added new commentary. We saw Chris Fowler talking about it, but obviously adding more mascots, more pregame stuff. We saw some of that in the trailer, more fight songs, band songs. That's all good stuff. Now moving on to the broadcast and commentary, it says experience dynamic commentary tailored by Kirk Herbstreit, Chris Fowler, Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, Desmond Howard, and Reese Davis as you make history on the field. Battling back after a tough loss, back-to-back 400-yard performances, their expertise and insight adapt to your team's progress and dynasty and your players' rise and road to glory. So sounds like the commentary might be, we'll have to see how this works, but a little bit more dynamic in what's going on, which is great because then it's more custom tailored to what you're experiencing as you play. I'm sure it's one of those things that won't be perfect, but it's good that they're trying to do that. I think that's a good addition. And this is a big one here. It says, show off your championship. We heard your feedback, and thanks to you, Trophy Room is back. Now is your chance to show off to your friends and rivals how successful you really are. There will be multiple ways for you to earn different kinds of trophies. You can coach and manage your program in a dynasty, focus on your journey as a college football legend and road to glory, dominate online in the road to the college football playoffs, compete in classic rivalry games and play now. So, you can even show off your trophy rooms for online games, which I think is actually a really cool addition there. And a lot of people wanted this back, so glad that they were able to put it in for this game and didn't really make us wait too long for it. Moving on to Dynasty now, I'm going to tell you right now, they're not going to probably touch on a whole lot in Dynasty here because, Dynasty Deep Dive is when they're going to go really deep into recruiting and stuff. Last year, the Dynasty blog was like 80 pages or something like that. So we're going to get a lot on Dynasty soon, but some of the tidbits here, it says that how you create your dynasty will now be more important than ever if you want to cement your legacy as one of the best coaches. You can assemble an elite staff, upgrade your coaching abilities, and then lay it all out on the field. Kind of same as last year there. We know that. It says personnel management has never been more important, with new location-based visits having the potential to give your program an advantage in recruiting. Land critical talent for your team by managing new dynamic deal breakers and traits while trying to retain your favorite playmakers and cement your program's legacy. This was a leak we heard about months ago that this could be coming to the game, so now deal breakers and traits can change more often. They can be dynamic, which I think that's pretty cool. It's going to make recruiting, a little bit more difficult, which is nice. This is a big one. Crossplay is here. College Ball 26 Online Dynasty now supports crossplay across Xbox Series X/S and PlayStation 5. You'll now be able to run a 32-person online dynasty with friends regardless of platform. So it looks like it is still only 32 teams for an online dynasty though, which I know some people wanted to see that bump to like 60 or something like that, but looks like we're still at 32 there. And then it says one last thing before we see you at the Dynasty Deep Dive. It says we're happy to announce that formation subs and a protected opponent setting are coming. So that's good. We know formation subs was another big request from people. Good to see that. And protected opponents, we definitely need that as well. So like I said, they're not going to touch on Dynasty a whole lot here. They're going to wait for the deep dive to really go deep into it. No pun intended. But we got a few good tidbits there that's good to hear. Moving on to Road to Glory. This is going to be a big focus this year, I think. That's what it sounds like. It says it's time to begin your ultimate student-athlete journey as part of the recruiting class of 2025. Choose from 10 new archetypes and rise from high school recruit to Heisman glory, with every decision shaping how your career will look. Build your highlight tape to earn an offer from your dream school and make that decision in the famous hat ceremony. Rise in class rankings and secure scholarships before other recruits, along with the new tier of abilities available to reach for your athlete. Earn coach trust, build team chemistry, and navigate the competitive recruiting process. Commit early if you found the perfect fit for you, or decommit if a better opportunity comes your way. So that's cool. You can commit and then decommit. So they're making it, pretty realistic there. And then it says your journey to become a superstar in Madden 26 is yours to define, because as soon as you're ready, your Road to Glory student athlete can begin their journey to Madden 26 superstar mode. And then the last few things they touch on here is College Ultimate Team, which they don't really say much here. It's going to pretty much be the same as always. Like, they're going to obviously have new programs and stuff, but Ultimate Team is Ultimate Team. You build your dream roster with the legends from the past and current college stars, and you play in head-to-head. We'll find out more about that later, but Ultimate Team, it kind of is what it is. There's always new little tweaks to it, but, the game mode is what it is, basically. Now, Road to the College Football Playoff, they mentioned briefly as well. They don't really say a whole lot about it, but they do say that you can fill your personal trophy room with gold and capture the national championship, bring glory to your school. So obviously you did that last year, but now I think you can show off. So if you're a guy in this mode that is winning, 100 national championships and 100, playoff games and all that stuff throughout the year, the game's out, somebody could look at your trophy room and just see how good you were. So I do think that's a nice addition. And then they do briefly mention Team Builder. They say, don't worry, College Football 25 fans, you'll be able to import your custom teams from last year seamlessly, ensuring your favorite created teams can be brought over. With new features in Team Builder, you can refine your team's details and explore enhanced roster editing options, allowing for greater control over your identity and legacy. Stay tuned for the Dynasty Deep Dive to learn more about these features and how they'll elevate your gaming experience. Remember, don't forget to subscribe, because this next month is going to be jam-packed with info, and you're not going to want to miss out on any of it.